I was at the grocery store recently and I found something. I don't know if like some big truck had a massive amount of select grade prime ribs that they needed to offload, but like 3 or 4 different grocery stores in the area all had these chunks of prime rib on sale, select grade. I can't remember the last time I saw a select grade sticker in any grocery store. So naturally, I was like, challenge accepted. Let's see if we can take this select grade on sale grocery store prime rib and make it amazing. I'm not sure. I'm be honest with you. I have no idea. This could really go terribly bad, but we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. Let's go ahead and get the Lone Star fired up. We're going to reverse sear this prime rib. That is step number 1 to making sure we have the best possible prime rib we can possibly have. We're going to bring it up to temp nice and slow, and then we'll sear it with some nice high heat, all on the Lone Star. Hey, you don't want to stay in here. It's going to get pretty warm in here.
Typically, I say you get what you pay for, but when prices dive this low in my area, sometimes you just got to try it out. I don't know that I've ever seen a rib roast or a steak or any beef roast with a pop-up, thermometer. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if they work anything as well as the ones doing turkey, then you should just pull this right out and throw it right away because they're just garbage. It's prime rib. It's the ribeye, and although there's little to no marbling, it's a steak. And so that's how we're gonna cook it. We're gonna cook it like prime rib. We're gonna cook it like a steak. It looks like they've already got the butcher string, taken care of to hold its shape. And we might be able to just look for any hard fat and season this guy and throw it on the smoker. And they already cut it off the bones. Look at that. Starting off in the right direction. Some of you guys are probably tempted to use one of these guys. And it's great for chicken or turkey. It tenderizes by stabbing a bunch of holes in it and breaking that protein up. You can't use these guys on steak. If you're doing it, please stop. You're gonna get yourself sick. You're gonna get someone else sick. The bacteria, when it comes to beef, we're worried about the outside because that's where the oxygen's penetrating and that's where the bacteria is growing. So the minute you take something like the Jacquard and stab down into it is the minute you take the germs on the outside of the beef into the inside of the beef. I'm gonna dry the outside of it off, look for any hard fat, trim it off. Little to no marbling, but we'll do what we can do with it. Gonna spray it down with a little olive oil to help form the crust on the outside. We're gonna give Kenders a go today with their prime rib rub. On a piece of meat this big, you gotta get a lot of seasoning on here because there's no flavor in the middle except just the beef. And that's great, but you wanna balance that with some nice seasoning on the outside. Really don't need to do the ribs because we're gonna be cutting that off anyway. I always use charcoal to get my wood fire rolling. Tell us what you do. How do you start your wood fires when you're in an offset? And I'm going in with a little post oak. The trick to this, guys, is temperatures. We want to be right around 225 or so while we're reverse searing. However, we want to have a fire that's ready to get up to 500 when it's time to sear. It sounds easy enough, but it can be tricky if you're not used to it. You got to have that fire so that it's controlled all the way through a reverse sear cook like this when you're using an offset. I want that flavor of the offset, the charcoal, the wood. I want that raw flavor on the outside of this prime rib, but I also want that nice typical steak crust. And this is the only way to really nail both of those at the same time. Perfect example of the kind of smoke we don't want. I call that dirty smoke. It's just, you know, the wood's still catching, and it's just, you don't want that on your food. It's just bitter. I'm gonna wait till that cleans up just a little more and gets that little blue tint to it. Then we'll go ahead and put this guy on there. With prime rib, temperatures are everything. I'm going to be monitoring the temperature, the internal temperature with a couple of different methods. The first one's going to be ThermoWorks, their blue dot. I've never used it before. I can't wait to try it out. The thing about ThermoWorks, they keep it simple. Like, we don't have 1,200 buttons. We just want to know the temperature and have an alarm. A little pop-up thing. We're going to find out what temperature that thing is set to pop up at. Aim for right in the middle. I'm using the ThermoWorks blue dot, but I'm also using the meter. Just kind of comparing them and seeing how that goes. So far, so good. Slowly bringing those temps up to about 225. I'm going to spritz with a little apple cider vinegar. And this is just going to give us a little bit of a cooler surface to attract more smoke. About an hour and a half in, guys, and you can see we're almost up to 275. I'm just going to slowly bring it up from where I started at about 200 to we get to about 325 or so. And then I'm going to hold it at 325 until we have an internal temperature of 125 degrees. And at 125 degrees, I'm going to pull it off and get that fire roaring hot so that we can sear all sides of this, dude. I'm excited, I'm going to be honest with you, to see if I can do anything with this. And it's like an opportunity. It's like a challenge. Let's see what we're working with here. Ooh. Oh my gosh. ThermoWorks makes this ThermoPen IR. And so you can get the temperature of the inside of the grill through a thermal reading, which is really awesome. And getting an internal temperature right there is about 75. Let's pull up the meter app and see where the meter has us. It has us not connected, which is always the problem with this thing. There we go. All right, it's giving me an internal 79. That's a little warmer than the other guys, but since all the others are about the same, I'm gonna assume that they're right. I like how it has the ambient temperature. Look at that. The absolute hardest part of this cook is making sure that temperature is perfect, especially right at the transition where I'm gonna go from, you know, just smoking it and bringing that internal temperature up nice and slow to, you know, a hot, fast sear. So what's vital is a lot of times, you know, when I'm smoking something, when I know that I'm towards the end, I'll just kind of let the fire die off. In a cook like this, you can't do that. You have to make sure that you have a fire that's healthy enough and strong enough right when you need it to really grow, that as soon as you put the fuel, some additional wood on there, you know that it's gonna get hot quickly. Leaving the door open like this will do it. Four hours in on this prime rib, guys. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Reading 111, feeling tender too. Perfect. Vent all the way open. All right, so I went ahead and took the plate off the top of the firebox, and that is where we're gonna finish this prime rib. Getting a little hot, so I'm going to spread the fire out a little bit, and that'll kind of drop those flames a little. $115, all right, so that's good. I want to take it up to about 125, so we're just going to go back indirect now. I'm going to put the plate back on the top of the firebox. We'll go indirect up to 125, and then we'll pull it. Let's see where we are. Oh, the little pop-up thing. Look at that. Oh, yes. Perfect. Wow. On sale, grocery store Select. Select is not something you see that often around here. It looks good, it smells amazing, it cuts easily, but what do you think? Let's find out. It's good. I mean, I'm working with some absolutely wonderful looking meat, and it is tender. I mean, absolutely tender. There's places of it that are much more tender than others. I wasn't expecting that. I was trying to figure out if it was worth the money. It's not something I'd want to show off at a barbecue contest, but will I want to buy better grade stuff? Absolutely. In the future, absolutely. Can I get one of these and make it edible so that I'm not disappointed when I get done eating? You can, and I'm shocked, to be honest with you. Select grade. I don't know that I've ever cooked Select grade. You just don't find it anymore. Not around here. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll catch you on the next video.